Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Highly Taken podcast. David making sure they have to stay on their feet today. They're not ready, but I am. That's all that matters. Back again from Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, Christian Smith back at you in Maryland.
Hey, Nick back at you in Jacksonville. Currently don't have internet, so I'm filming on my phone. Things are a little kind of weird, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to adjust this and figure something out. But yeah, let's get into it, guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Nick because he paid all that money for his cam. He's a cam girl. He paid all that money for his cam website, and now he can't use it because the internet's gone. So,
bro, my Foot Finder account is just it's so backed up.
Really, people in some smashed feet.
Yeah, dude. Everybody likes the little scars and some fungus on their feet, dude. They're really into that.
The fungus was not because of the pallet jack, though, so I don't understand that.
No, that's not true. I actually, because I had to have my foot wrapped up for 2 weeks, I ended up getting athlete's foot in my foot because it was soggy and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? So yes, I did get fungus.
There are certain things that you just don't need to say over the air. And
the Highly Fungus podcast.
Hey, dude, what's wrong? What's wrong with a little bit of athlete's foot happens, man?
This is a sports podcast from an athlete's foot. It's par for the course. But I guess gone in 60 seconds. And I got a good one. Last time we did this, I'm pretty sure we talked about Pokemon. I still stand on my take about Ash Ketchum. But I got a good one to talk about today. You'll probably love it too. So,
hold on,
Mark.
Hold on. I'm trying to switch things up here.
He's trying to switch things up.
Yeah, literally. He always be trying to switch things up. What are you, gay now?
Whoa. Now I'll have to edit. I can't be having. I don't know if I can have you saying that on the podcast.
What, gay?
Okay.
It's the way you said it.
Yeah, it was. All right, I'm ready.
On your mark, get set. On today's episode of Gone in 60 Seconds, we're going to talk about blaming refs. We're going to talk about the biggest ref choke job of all time. And I know what you guys are thinking. Is it the last Super Bowl? Is it the Super Bowl before that? No. We're talking about dodgeball championships, Globo's Gym versus the Average Joe's overtime. And the refs gave Average Joe's the win. Now, if you remember correctly, the overtime rules completely state that you have to have both feet inside the triangle at all times when you throw the ball. But LaFleur's foot stepped outside of the triangle when he threw the ball, meaning that should not have counted and he should not have won. Now, obviously, there's no instant replay on the Ocho. They didn't talk about it because of the big upset. However, if you go back and look at the tape, he had a foot outside of the triangle when he threw that ball. So I think that is one of the biggest ref choke jobs in the history of sports. And we didn't even say anything about it.
That's a bold statement.
That's an L take, man.
They're filming dodgeball too. So, let's see what happens. Maybe they throw that in there at the beginning of the movie, and it's like a redemption story. I'm all about that redemption story.
I would love a dodgeball too. I want to see how Pirate Steve is he still a pirate? Is he not a pirate? I want to know what he's done since. Does he have a pirate ship?
Yeah, man.
A real question here, boys.
That was a good one, man. I do like that. If you want, I can go into my segment that I changed the name of it.
Go ahead.
All right, perfect. Guys, I'm going to give you a couple players here, or just the starting lineup that I think is going to ball out. I forgot to put my busts on here, but I'll try to think of a couple.
So this one isn't bust or bust this week. This is just trust or trust.
This is nut. Yeah, man.
Not during November.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. I had to do it. Can't last. All right. So starting QB, guys, I got to say, I got Trevor Lawrence starting this week against Tennessee. The reason I have that is because they absolutely got demolished last week against the 49ers at home. They have another home game. They're coming off. They're going to air the ball out. They're going to get that confidence back up for Lawrence. I just think he's due for a big game. He hasn't really had a huge game yet. I think this divisional game at home against Tennessee is a good matchup for him to go off. Guys, if you don't have him and you're desperate need of a quarterback, telling you, pick him up, start him. At running back, I'm going to go Devin Singletary. Pierce still isn't 100%. He's going up against the 30th team, Arizona, in rushing, one of the worst in rushing. I think he's going to have a game, not to mention that play action is on fire right now in Houston. I like Devin Singletary to go off. My other running back, Breece Hall. They're going up against Buffalo. They're 24th in rushing. Don't get me wrong. They just got rid of their OC. Maybe their defense starts to play a little better. Defense has been decent. They've been keeping them in games. But Wilson is going to feed him the ball all day. Breece Hall is going to have a game in the air and on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up 20-plus points. My wide receivers, and I could pick, Hill and A.J. Brown and everyone like that. But I'm going Christian Kirk. Again, along the lines with Trevor Lawrence. Zay Jones might not play. He got that misdemeanor. He might not play. Who knows? Christian Kirk's been his number one target so far this year. They're going to get him going quick slants, and I just think he's going to have a decent game against Tennessee. My next wide receiver, guys, start him. Cooper Kupp, Stafford starting, going up against Seattle at home. Look for him to have at least 10 receptions in this game. The Rams are winning that game. I'm telling you right now, the Rams are winning that game against Seattle. I like him to have a big game with Stafford at the QB. Tight end, Okonkwo. I like Okonkwo this week against the Jags. Yes, I think the Jags are going to win this game, but they're 29th against the tight ends. And Levis is only in his third start of his career. They're going to get some checkdowns on him, getting him ready, getting some confidence boosted up. And Okonkwo is going to have a good game. Start him. Trust me. Put him there. Defense. Steelers defense. Go with that defense this week. It never hurts to go up against a backup quarterback. This is a big game. This is a big game for both of them. It's in Cleveland, but it's a big game. I think this could honestly go either way. You have two, in my opinion, backup quarterbacks starting. So, it's going to be a battle of the defense. So we'll see what happens. But that's who I have for my nut of the week.
Yo, shout out Kenny Pickett for being a first-round draft pick and now called a backup.
While he's starting of all things.
I'm just kidding. Kidding.
You have some really good takes there too. I was going to say that Browns defense is to be started. That Browns defense is looking good, and you're going up against the Steelers offense. Still with Matt Canada, probably the second least liked person on this podcast, Matt Canada.
Who's first?
Jim Irsay. Even a
Yeah,
question.
exactly.
Even a question.
The fact you even had to say that.
If I'm looking at a person to bench this week, I'm going to say Josh Allen. Josh Allen plays that Jets defense, and even without an offensive coordinator, don't shake your head no. Even without an offensive coordinator, he still has to make decisions. He's still going to turn the ball over against a defense that has been known for making good quarterbacks turn the ball over. I think he's a good start there. Another one to start, Josh Dobbs versus the Broncos defense.
I don't like it.
The Broncos defense isn't, other than like the past 2 weeks, maybe they've looked good. Other than that, they have been one of the worst getting scored on defenses.
Look what they did. They played Kansas City twice and held them to 25 points in 2 games. I'm just saying total. A lot of people have held Kansas City to not a lot of points this year. So, hopefully we'll keep it up on Monday Night Football. That's all I got to say.
I say Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's Monday night.
Chiefs. The Eagles game. I thought you were talking about the Broncos game. That's a Sunday night game. I was like, what? But yeah, another person I would look to maybe right now, I'd say Sam Howell is a start no matter what. Sam Howell has the most passing yards in the NFL right now, and they're playing against the Giants defense, who I think is the 31st worst defense, because I think 32nd is the Commanders as well. And then another one, Justin Fields comes back. Don't start him because he plays against a good Lions defense, and he's going to have to come back from injury. As of right now, I think the Lions are like a touchdown favorite, well-deserved touchdown favorite. Don't start him there. And another person to start, I'm throwing it out there, Dak Prescott. They're playing against a very bad Carolina Panthers team, and I think that he's going to probably have another good game this week, and arguably could be put up in the top 3 MVP race after the end of the week.
Yeah. It's looking at the Cowboys schedule, dude. What a cakewalk of a schedule that is, man. It's not even right how easy of a schedule they have. They're playing these easy teams. They lost to the Cardinals. But I agree. I mean, Dak's probably a good start. But Isn't it in Carolina?
It is in
Yeah.
Carolina, but also to
Not gonna, bro. It's
talk
not
about-
gonna matter, Nick.
yeah. To talk about what you're saying though, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they play the Commanders next week, which isn't a easy. It's a divisional game. Then they play the Seahawks, the Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Lions, and they end with the Commanders. That's not an easy stretch by any
But
means.
look at the first part.
I know, but they still have a good stretch they have to go through beforehand. So I wouldn't say they
Everyone's
have an
on their
easy.
jock again because they're playing these easy teams again, and
Yeah.
they're thinking that they're the best team ever. That's just how it is. To be fair, I absolutely love the rest of their schedule. I don't. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. I just have a hate in my heart.
I know. I mean, I have it too, but I'm also
Yeah.
realistic too. So like,
They're a good team this year. I'll give credit where credit's due. They're a good team. But it's the defense that's really helping them out. But RIP Van Der Esch, man, poor guy. He doesn't know what he's going to end up doing. He gets hurt every single year. It's kind of like Kuechly. What happened with him? He had probably another 5-6 years left to play. And, after all those injuries, man, it just takes a toll on your body. I hate to see it. I mean, I like to see it for an Eagles fan, but I hate to see it. Any player going out like that and might not be able to come back. It sucks. It's not fun. He's a great linebacker. So, I mean, we'll see.
yeah, like I said, I was telling you guys, he just reminds me of Sean Lee. Sean Lee was a really good linebacker with the
Sean
Cowboys,
Lee.
but could never stay healthy.
Sean Lee. I never hated him, and that's saying something.
The two Cowboys players I can honestly say I've never hated were Sean Lee and Jason Witten.
Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
All right, but my turn to throw in some bust and bust here, okay, boys? Well, we were gonna skip me, okay? I don't know what we were thinking here, but I got one trust and one bust. My trust this week, I would say start him as an RB1 is going to be Kareem Hunt. I think with a backup quarterback playing there this week for Cleveland, I think Kareem Hunt's going to be able to have a big game. They're going to rely heavy on the run game. Now, I know Pittsburgh has a good defense, but someone's got to be –
Against the run, not against the pass, but against the run, yeah.
So, somebody's got to be able to step up and make the plays. DTR is not going to be slinging the rock all around the yard because he is a rookie in his only second career start. So they're going to rely heavily on the running back game. You could see a bigger game out of Ford, but I feel like coming down into the red zone, Hunt's been more of the threat to score the touchdown. Yeah,
yep.
So I feel like Kareem Hunt's going to be my start-em this week, and my sit-em is going to be DeAndre Swift. I would not start him this week against Kansas City. I think Philadelphia has a bad taste in their mouth, and they go out and win this game, but I think 90% of it is done through the air with Jalen Hurts.
See, I like that, but here's what I have to say. Every time they go into a game thinking they're going to air it out, and it's going to be one of those games where they're going to rely heavily on that, and the defense is thinking it too, that's when they absolutely demolish on the run. They do it every single time, and I agree. I wouldn't start him this week, but there is a chance the dude has probably 120 yards rushing if things happen the way I think they are going to happen. They have bad taste in their mouth, and he's an Eagles fan at heart, dude. Same with Bayard. Eagles fan at heart. They have bad taste in your mouth, wanting something to happen, and this is their kind of revenge too to get at it. I mean, it's going to be a fun game, dude. It's going to be a fun game. Taylor Swift, please don't show up to the game. I really would appreciate that. Just so that way nothing happens. I don't need any spells cast or anything like that. Or
Jackson Mahomes, you stay away too.
If that's the case, you are an Eagles fan, so let's just throw that out there. You are an Eagles fan, so just remember your heart speaks to you. Monday Night Football game.
Actually, this is definitely something to do with sports here. Taylor Swift and the Kelsey's parents are supposed to meet that game for the first time, so that's going to be very, very interesting there.
They already met.
I'm just going off the ET article.
Yeah, bro, dude.
Travis already had first game, she was in the box with.
Right, I'm talking about both parents. Like Taylor Swift's parents and then Kelsey's parents are supposed to.
Oh, the parents are needed. Oh,
Big
I
news.
would not want to. I'm telling you, I would not want to be in that box if I was the Swift. If I was the Swift family, because they're not gonna have they're not gonna be excited really about anything because they're rooting for both of their kids, right? So that's a tough situation, man. That's a tough situation. That's an awkward situation.
The win-win if you're Donna, though.
Hey, shout out. I don't know if you guys have listened to it yet, but Jason and Travis Kelce's song, Christmas song, is booming on the charts. It just passed Mariah Carey on the Christmas song.
Wow.
It is booming right now. I absolutely love it. It's a great song. Look it up. It's a good one. It's a very good one.
Yeah, but Mariah really a goat for that song, though. Let's not lie.
What's crazy is that every single time Christmas comes along, that song gets shoved back to the number one on the charts every single year.
Dude,
Every
she's
year.
making millions from November to December. Millions. Just off of one song. I mean, she's an absolute. I mean, it's a great song. I jam out to that.
It is a great song.
But I'm going to be jamming out to May Alada's.
Oh,
version.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That was way better.
All right. Do we want to get into games or?
Oh, yeah. Back to football. Back to football.
Let's yeah, we got a little turn there. Let's talk about the game last night. You know, obviously they said that Burrow sprained his wrist. It seemed a little worse than that. I mean, him throwing the ball, he couldn't even throw it. It was hard for him to even hold the ball.
Yeah.
They're looking into it. Do you think that was a dirty hit that they had on him?
I didn't see the hit.
I'm not sure if it was a dirty hit on him, truthfully. I mean, he threw a touchdown pass on the play. But
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
I don't necessarily think it was a dirty hit. I think it's just an unfortunate injury. And, you know, truthfully, though, the Bengals really, even without Joe Burrow, should have won that game. I mean, you look at the bad PI call at the end of the second quarter there, where they call a phantom pass interference call, and then that leads to another touchdown by the Ravens after that. And
I know that, man. I noticed that last drive in the second quarter before half, there was some bad little calls there to give them the go ahead to get where they were at.
Mm-hmm.
I know Christian doesn't like talking about it, but there was no real tug or anything like that.
There wasn't anything. It was a ball that was thrown behind Zay Flowers, and the cornerback didn't even touch Zay Flowers.
I mean, if it's a blatant missed call, it's a blatant missed call. You know what I mean? I have no argument on that. I didn't see the call though. I didn't get to see that.
I mean, it ends up hurting them. I mean, now you think about it, Joe Burrow is so injury prone now. It seems like he has an injury every other week now. And he's at offense. You're not going to get Browning. Browning's not going to sit there and take that offense to a playoffs. I think if you don't get Joe Burrow back within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I honestly think season's done for Cincinnati, and I think the Texans are going to get that last wild card spot. So
I was
going to say each game now for Cincinnati is a must-win game.
Yeah, and I was just going to say it to you guys. I mean, I haven't seen ESPN's percent and predictors and everything, but does anybody know what Cincinnati's percent chance to make the playoffs has fallen to now after a loss last night?
I'm not sure what it's looking like right now. I mean, with Joe Burrow being out, even if he's out for a couple weeks, hopefully it's just a sprain for Cincinnati. I mean, you're out for a couple weeks, you come back, you're fine. But then they have to win out. They're going to have to win out from there. That's a tall task. Especially you saw what happened when he was fighting the injury with his calf. You know, they didn't look the same. So I don't know if they're going to be able to go out and just ball out like that. And it just seems like that offense just isn't running the same like I used. I mean, they're relying so heavy on Mixon right now. It's unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. Mixon's great. He's great, but you have Jamar Chase there. You know, T. Higgins, I don't think played last night, but you have Tyler Boyd too. That three, that's a hard wide receiving core to cover. And they're
Tyler Boyd was a 1 at one point, bro.
I know they're relying really hard on Mixon, and it kind of sucks. I mean,
depending on how long this injury lasts, though, and they could be safe. I mean, the next 4 games for the Bengals is Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Minnesota. So I mean, those are the Steelers and Jaguars games are going to be tough games. I feel they can get away with Colts, Vikings. But I mean, the big one you got to look at is that second to last game of the season, the New Year's Eve, you have the Chiefs. You play in Kansas City. hopefully he's back by then, but who knows? With this injury, it may not even matter. You look at the standings right now, Cincinnati's in 10th place in the whole AFC right now. They're tied with Indianapolis and Las Vegas. Also, Indianapolis is right now 8th place. So they could be getting a playoff spot. Houston has that last wild card spot right now. So it's really tight within the AFC. I hate that there is 3 wild card teams because there's no reason that a team like Denver should be anywhere close to a playoff team.
But it
they're
makes
only
it
one
fun.
game back.
It makes it fun, bro. It makes it so much fun.
It does. I agree with Christian. It does make it more fun. You know, it adds another element to the game. You know, and if that were the case, one of the years the Eagles wouldn't have made it to the playoffs. So I mean, I like it. I mean, it gives a shot to another team. What I don't like is when a team has a losing record and goes into the playoffs. That's the only thing I don't like. When you have a team that goes, 9-7, or sorry, 9-8 now, and 10-7, and they miss the playoffs. You know, like that's just
Yeah.
when you have a team that's 7-9 making the playoffs.
It's because the NFC South is so bad, dude. It just happens that way.
Yeah. Oh, I meant to start Taysom Hill too.
Facts. I got something I want to say though. I know we just talked on that Joe Burrow injury, but let's go to the other side of the ball here. The Ravens just lost Mark Andrews for the year.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard. Luckily they have what's his name, Quick, I think is his last name. There as their backup tight end. He's good. I will say, I know David, I don't know if you saw that, but the way he tackled him was kind of dirty. It was kind of
no, because what do you want them to do? Like that's a normal tackle. It's just he got injured from it. Those hip drop tackles are normal. You are running at a guy and you grab him by the waist and you bring him down. I mean, how do you want them to tackle guys now? Because I mean, you don't want him to go too high, you don't want him to go too low, but he's at the hip and you drop the hip and it's like, oh well, he shouldn't do that either. Are we switch the game to 2-hand tag if you want to? I don't think that's a dirty hit by any means.
Yeah. Especially when you have a guy. Was it a cornerback that made the tackle?
It was a linebacker. I'm pretty sure it was a linebacker.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you have that much of a size difference, it makes sense too. But
yeah, I mean, obviously you try to make the tackle, but he went in really hard, grabbed his jersey, pulled him down, and maybe it was just like a bang bang. It kind of happened, but landed right on that leg and like with all of his force and everything going in. And it could be. It looked a little dirty when I saw it at first.
It's going to be interesting though, because like you said, Andrews, I mean, that's the number one guy for, I'm going to say Joe Flacco, for Lamar Jackson.
Odell Beckham's starting to come on very
he
strong.
Also got hurt, I think.
Did he?
I think he also had like some sort of injury. I'm not sure if he came back or not, but I saw reports that he was also injured during the game as well.
I know he at one point had 3 catches for 66 yards.
So
the only thing, and I watched Lamar again air the ball out, and it wasn't like he was barely missing these receivers. He was missing receivers by 10 yards. I mean, terrible throws, man. He can't throw a deep ball, and that's an issue.
Is the AFC North open for Pittsburgh, though? I mean, you have Mark Andrews, who's now injured for the whole season. You have Joe Burrow, who's sidelined for a bit, and I mean, Deshaun Watson's out for the Browns. And so, I mean, you think that DTR is going to take the Browns to you think that? Do you think that?
I do. I think look, I think you misworded that. I don't think DTR is going to take Cleveland. I think the defense is going to take Cleveland. That defense is so insane. And then on top of that, we've already seen 2 great backs in Ford and Hunt. Granted, it's not Chubb and Hunt. We know that's definitely the better tandem, but we've already seen a great duo with Ford and Hunt. That line there that's playing for Cleveland, it's not a bad offensive line. And Amari Cooper's been balling out. So when you need to force a pass in there, as long as DTR can get a quick slant route down to Amari, you should be okay, because that defense has come to showing you come and play the best offense in the league. You're only getting 13, 16 points a game. So now you're leaving it up to your offense. You're giving yourselves a chance to continuously compete and compete and compete. And I don't know, man. For me personally, I feel like Cleveland actually has a realistic shot of winning that, even though, yes, you don't have Deshaun Watson now. But that defense, man, it is so legit that it could carry them through that division.
Too legit to quit, man. Yeah, Myles Garrett's going to keep that team alive, man. It's not the QB carrying it. It's going to be Myles Garrett carrying that team. I mean, 100%. That Browns defense, like Christian said, it's just it's kind of fun to watch, man. I mean, they're electric on defense. It's crazy. It might end up being in this division who has the best defense. I mean, Steelers that has a great defense. Ravens have a decent defense. Who's going to have the best defense? They're going to be the ones that win it. It's going to be. I mean, defense wins championships. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, you're not lying, man. Yeah, it's crazy to see.
So I mean, I guess do you guys want to talk more NFL this upcoming week that's going on? You guys want to talk college? You guys want to talk NBA? Like, where do you guys want to go from here?
I mean, I'm trying to think. What do we got right now? What am I thinking here?
I mean, I
feel like I'm missing some big news. Oh, bro. So are the Clippers just going to be a massive failure the rest of the year?
I would say yes, for the simple reason they have a locker room issue now. I guess they didn't realize they were signing up for. But James Harden, I mean, come on now. It seems to travel towards you. You blame all these other teams for what's going on, but it seems like it's you that it's following.
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen that viral clip of I think the Dallas announcer that went absolutely off on James Harden, and I mean, he's right. I mean, everywhere you go, they have given James Harden everything he wants. You goes to Houston, like, we'll get D'Antoni, run that offense with you. That doesn't pan out. Give me Chris Paul. That doesn't pan out. I want to go to play in Brooklyn. That doesn't pan out. Put me in Philly. That doesn't pan out. And now you're getting shoved into LA because you keep wanting to force yourself. And who would have guessed that a team with two ball-heavy guards in James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and also a Paul George and Kawhi, who also need the ball, wouldn't work out that much? That's a small roster to begin with, but I just don't think they really they see star power. And I think for some reason when people see a bunch of good players, like, oh yeah, throw them in there. But if you have that many good small players and don't have a good big man, you're screwed, because if you miss a shot, you're not getting the rebound. And you can just keep feeding. The size differential matters so much. And right now, they aren't looking good. They brought in a locker room cancer to a fresh start of the season. They get no chemistry together. So no wonder you're going to start off 0-5, 0-6 together. You have yet to win a game together. James Harden hasn't looked good. Westbrook hasn't looked good. Paul George and Kawhi haven't looked that good either. And so you wonder, what's the issue? Well, who would have thought the issue would be James Harden when you bring him in, like it is everywhere else?
And I feel like when you went and saw I don't know if you guys ever saw, but like Harden's first day walking into the locker room, you could tell, man, like none of the players were happy that he was there. I feel like I read a report that said like Kawhi and Paul George were happier with the bench team that they had before they got rid of everybody that they had on the bench to acquire James Harden, and that they thought that, the team that was built out there in LA, that was a team that was capable enough to go ahead and try to win a championship. They didn't need to bring Harden in. And yeah, like you're saying, man, I mean, that's huge ball heavy guards with Westbrook and Harden. But I just feel like we're seeing it more and more, man. Like once you stack up a big three at this point, dude, it's not working out anymore, man. I feel like the last time we really saw it, LeBron was down in Miami. We got a huge big three over there. And then, I guess KD over in Golden State. But since then, you've seen the Brooklyn Nets fall apart. You've seen the Suns fall apart last year. I mean, it's just year after year now. You're seeing these big name players go all three on one team, and it all falls apart. But because you're getting three guys that are ball dominant. They all score points, and you can't split that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or is it the fact that they're later in their careers and they're not the same caliber player that they were a few years ago? I mean, think about that. Harden hasn't been the same. I would say Paul George and Kawhi hasn't been the same either. I agree with you. You want a bench. You want to have a bench that you can take a break and not have to worry about it. What they're going to end up having to do is they're going to have Westbrook out there with Kawhi and Paul, and then they're going to have Harden out there with them. They're not going to keep all four of them out there. There's no way. They're going to get mad at each other because they're going to want the ball to score some points. And you can't have that. And like you said, you're going to have to make every shot. You don't have anyone down low that's going to be able to get that ball. You can't box out or anything like that. And what's even harder about that is, say you play a team that is big men. Like, let's say Denver Nuggets, dude, absolutely Jokic is going to light up offensive rebounds against them because they're not going to be able to stop that. So I agree. I think it's tough. I think they went too small. They don't have anyone that's really going to help them get those rebounds, and it's an issue. Do I think they could figure it out? Sure. They're all athletic. They're all superstars. Sure, they can figure it out, but they have to realize they're going to have to share the ball. And I don't know if Westbrook and Harden like doing that. I mean, watching Westbrook with OKC, I think he loved it there because he was the only one there, and he could go out there and put a triple-double up every single game. You can't do that with
and be a first-round exit every single time because of it.
Yeah, you can't be that with the Clippers, man. You can't go out there and expect to have a triple-double every single game. It's just not happening.
So let me ask you guys then, who is from the West and the East, who are your guys' favorites so far through 10 games?
I mean, I'll go. I don't bet against Denver. I still think Denver is the number one out there in the West. In the East, I don't want to say it because it sounds biased, but I
don't
really
say
think,
it.
Okay, the Celtics.
Thank you.
But let's just say I was going to say the Sixers. The Sixers have looked really good. Now they're in a 2-game losing streak, but I mean, the Pacers and the Celtics aren't any bad teams by any means. Right now, the tandem play between Maxey and Embiid looks so
it's insane. It's insane.
The pick and rolls, Maxey shooting, Embiid getting the ball down low, the ball getting passed around. Batum come off the bench good. Now, once we get Kelly Oubre back, that's a big loss. And notice how the last 2 games we've lost Oubre. He's been injured. Hopefully, they can figure out everything that happened with him. But that team
Tobias Harris is taking a big step forward too, man. Seems like he's starting to step up. And
like I said it beforehand, James Harden, because he was there, had Tobias being pushed into the corner and just waiting for corner threes the entire time. That's not Tobias's game. He's also stepped it up on defense this year. He's looked really good. So again, chemistry is a big thing in basketball. It's not about having the good stars, but having the good chemistry. I mean, you see with the Sixers right now, and hopefully they can do that the rest of the year.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, look, if Nurse is obviously a way better coach than Doc. I mean,
that's what I was just about to ask.
He spreads the ball around. You can see the offense is more flowing. You know, a lot more communication going on. Whereas Doc is ISO, corner 3, ISO. Look for Embiid. I mean, that's all he would run. It was the same offense all the time. Because guess what? He did that with Boston when Boston was decent. But that was also when you had Ray Allen sitting in the corner. That was almost a guaranteed 3 all the time. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the greatest thing that's come so far for Philly with the loss of Doc and Harden, it's got to be the evolution of Maxey, right? I mean, what we're seeing from him now, I feel like, I mean, I know for me, I've been high on the guy since he came in as a rookie. That's when I got his jersey. But I know for me, like I've been saying, you know, he's going to get better with time. It's just going to continuously get better. And now, I mean, he's in a great system. Him and Embiid are looking at like a great 1 and 2 tandem. And that chemistry, like you guys said, it's there. And that's what's, I feel like, firing everything on all cylinders. And that's what I was going to ask. Do you think that chemistry comes down more or less because Harden's gone or because Doc is gone?
It's a little of both.
Yeah, why can't it be both?
It can be both. I'm not saying it can't be both, but you don't think one factor is more than the other?
I really don't. I think now that you bring in Nick Nurse, who is known to be able to work more chemistry. Like I said, you look at the Raptors title that they won with Kawhi. It's a great team chemistry. They were able to pass the ball. And then you also have James Harden, who's a ball-heavy guard, out now. You have a ball-heavy guard who's out now. So now the offense flows better. You know, the ball's getting passed around better. You know, we're not relying on James Harden either shoots a 3 or gives it to Joel, who takes a shot inside the perimeter. So it's a better flowing offense, and it works with what Nick Nurse is used to working with. You know, the pick and rolls work well. He did a really good job, whether it was Kawhi and Pascal, or he had Gasol, who did really well in the pick and roll there. When he was there, Gasol was an all-star, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, Pascal Siakam was considered one of the top 3 big men in the league when he was there. And that's, I think, comes down to he's just really good with the system he has. I think it's going to keep working as long as the Sixers stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, and I think the whole new like load management thing that came out this year too. I think that should also be play well for the Sixers. You're not going to see.
Hopefully, I mean, Embiid looks like he's doing better with his conditioning, so he can stay on the court longer.
Well, I don't know if you. So, do you guys pay any attention to Pat Bev and his podcast?
I don't pay attention to it, but that's one person I didn't even think about. Pat Beverly being that Energizer Bunny.
Pat Bev even said on his podcast last week that with Embiid, he'll be practice will be over and he'll be like, all right, like I'm done, like screw this, like we're not running, and then Beverly will be like, yo, nah, dude, like we gotta run 16s. I don't know what you guys know what 16s are, so they'll be like, yo, we gotta run 16s, and then Embiid will just look at him and be like, all right, buddy, and then they run 16s. So yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing too, though, man, that's not being talked about a lot is Pat Bev is definitely being, like you just said, he's the Energizer Bunny, I think, inside of that locker room, and that's one thing that's not being talked about too much for the Sixers. But I mean, he doesn't play a whole bunch and do a whole bunch on the court, but it's that in the locker room presence. I feel like that's being a bigger impact.
Huge. It's huge. It has a lot to do with team's chemistry, to be honest. You have that person that's going to have that fire, that makes sure everyone's doing what they need to do. That's huge, man. I mean, that's literally a player coach right there, and that's what you need. I think the chemistry is nice. I like what they're seeing there. I mean, is it enough for me to say they're the favorites just yet? I don't know.
It will never be enough for me to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're going to make a playoff run. Maybe one series they win right now, but it could continue and things could go, keep going the way they are, and then I'll think, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I mean, what do you guys want to talk about? We want to go into some NCAA football so we can end with some college?
Anybody see that
NFL?
hit yesterday
Bro,
in the Boston College game?
That is beyond targeting. That is attempted murder.
Dude,
you did not see it?
Nick, the rule for targeting is for a player to
lunge. I know what target. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
bro,
hold on. Just go in YouTube targeting BC.
I would absolutely love to do that right now.
Oh, but you're on your phone.
I don't have Wi-Fi.
Dude, it was the most textbook targeting move I've ever it was so blatant.
Imagine the receiver is a soccer ball and the defender decided he wanted to be Messi. He literally jumped up and aimed with his head, with arms straight down, and completely just speared the guy in midair.
So does he get a suspension more than just the game?
I don't think he can, because if they wanted to, they can. But by rule, it's just a penalty. But I think I'm gonna take a screenshot of it or something and put it in the podcast when I'm editing. Hey, this is David, post-podcast during the editing. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go kind of play by play, sort of, and just show you how just egregious this absolutely was. So here it goes. So the ball's in the air, you see it, then boom, head-to-head contact right there. Pretty simple. If you're watching this game right now, you're like, oh, that's head-to-head, that's easy. That has to be called. No way in my mind, but guess what? Doesn't look like there was a flag on the field. They didn't show anything about there being a flag in the field. But as you see, head-to-head, he just launched himself. I mean, look, in slow motion, head goes up, hands go down, head is tilted forward, straight to the head, not even close. I don't understand how in the world you go for that. It's absolutely baffling to me. I mean, again, boom. I don't even know what to think about this. This is a textbook definition of targeting. We'll see it again here from the other angle. Goes up, dude jumps, launches off the feet, head to head, crown in the helmet, and absolutely disgusting. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's only going to be suspended for probably a half. But I just feel like more should be done about this, because this is literally every single checkbox for targeting was hits in this. So it's absolutely disgusting. So, in the end, they did end up calling the targeting on him. He did get ejected. All's good, all's fair, except for, obviously, that hit. It was blatant. There was no attempt to wrap up. It was straight arms down like a torpedo, jumping up in the air.
Yeah, dude, his shoulders literally dropped, and there was no attempt at putting a shoulder into it. It was shoulders dropped, head up, let's go right at him.
That's a Ray Lewis hit right there, baby. Take him out of the game.
Dude was going for blood. I don't understand Like never
Yeah.
in my mind would I ever thought when I played football to let's do this. Like he's lucky he didn't hurt himself.
It's a good thing I didn't play football because that would be how I would play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick's getting
dude.
penalties he's getting ejected in the first quarter.
Who knows, man?
That was crazy. What big games we got? Nick, you're the college guy over here, man. What big games we got going on this week?
Man, we got a lot of good games, and we can start with. I mean, I have them in the dubs and chugs, but we can kind of talk about them. A big game that I kind of like this week is Georgia versus Tennessee.
Ooh.
Tennessee coming off that blowout, being mauled by the Missouri Tigers. They need a win to kind of prove themselves here. But they're going up against Georgia, and that Georgia defense, if you had troubles against Missouri defense, I don't know what you're going to have against the Georgia defense. The only thing that's good for them is they're playing at home. Shout out, Stan the Man might be going to that game on Sunday or Saturday, so that'll be a fun game. I don't know. Tennessee looked like they were going to be a good team, but it doesn't look like they're as good. That Florida win doesn't seem as good of a win anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't have the Pastronaut back there playing quarterback anymore. He's out
Right.
Yeah,
what up? I think. Go ahead. Sorry, David.
I said, I mean, you can go. If you were talking about this game, I was gonna talk about other games that we had this week.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I personally, like Nick just said, I don't really see there being any chance for Tennessee in this game. I know you just got blown out, but again, if you couldn't handle that defense, what makes you think you're gonna have the chance to handle this Georgia defense? I just don't see. I don't see any turning point there for Tennessee in that game.
Yeah, I have an upset alert.
Is it Maryland?
Maryland beating Michigan.
That's such a crappy upset.
If Maryland couldn't
Or is it a great upset?
Maryland got 51 on by Penn State. So I can only imagine what Michigan's going to do. Granted,
game.
JJ
Didn't you lose to Northwestern?
JJ McCarthy only had to throw 8 passes to beat Penn State. Not Penn State.
Yeah.
Was it Penn State? Yeah,
it was 8 passes against Penn State. And by the way, coming into that game on the year, Penn State let up an average of, I think it was 99 rush yards a game and an average of 2.1 yards per or 1.9 yards per carry. Ending that game, they let up 229 total rush yards and an average of 5.3 yards per carry.
Yeah, I feel bad that JJ McCarthy's probably Heisman candidacy got snubbed because the run game was so good.
Yeah. Just shot down the drain.
Hey, I gotta say something.
Yeah,
I gotta say something. Florida's playing Missouri this week, right? In Missouri, I think it's probably going to be a blowout.
Really?
Missouri's looking really good.
If you think that's going to be a blowout, I don't understand how you think Florida beats Florida State.
Let me talk for a second. Florida State is playing an absolute cakewalk of a game to get themselves ready to play Florida in the swamp. I'm sorry, but you can't be doing that. You need some sort of game to get you going because you're playing a different team. I think because Florida's playing Missouri, and I'm telling you, if they get destroyed like Tennessee does or did, man, they're going to be out for blood because they need to win that game to get a bowl game. And they can take Florida State out of the playoff contention. And I'm telling you, something in my gut thinks something's going to happen. And they're going to get those Seminoles are going to be walking into the wrong swamp and going to get absolutely demolished and twisted and turned and absolutely chomped down on by some Gators.
Yeah, I really don't disagree with that take though, there, Nick. I think Florida can get the job done at home against FSU next week, but that's for next week,
Already looking past this week. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
Well, because it's probably a loss. It's a loss against Missouri for them. I mean, and Florida State's playing.
Y'all couldn't beat 2-6 Arkansas. So,
well, don't say me.
At home too, man. At home.
Hey, dude. Yeah, I get it, dude. But it's a rivalry game.
That's why both your colleges are about to miss the playoffs, as they're both currently ranked for the playoffs.
I will say, if I'm looking at any team to get upset tomorrow. I think Louisville. I think Louisville could be putting an upset alert against Miami. Miami plays good. They played good all season. Truthfully, their losses have come to they lost that Georgia Tech game, which they should have won.
They should have won.
They played a really close game last week against Florida State. And then they lost another one. I mean, they beat a Texas A&M team. They haven't looked bad all season. They have 4 losses on their schedule. So I think, honestly, they're playing in Miami, which I don't know if you guys ever seen a Miami home game. Not that good. No one ever shows up to it.
Hey,
They used to.
now that you just threw out the Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher fired and owed $72 million.
Yeah,
Shout out.
rough.
Like,
Speaking of
That's
A&M,
nice.
I just got an update that A&M's been reaching out to Dan Campbell and trying to get Dan Campbell to be the coach. Yep, just
That
got an
won't
update
happen.
on it.
That won't
What?
happen.
No, I don't think it will, but apparently he's been on the phone talking with A&M, but I don't know why you would leave,
well,
the
because the
Lions,
paycheck,
you know.
they're willing to
Yeah.
buy out $72 million of Jimbo Fisher's contract. I can only imagine the amount they would pay for an NFL coach that's 7-2 right now. They are 7-2, have like the 2nd or 3rd seed in the NFC right now. They're coming down and play college ball.
Hear me out on this one, dude. So Jimbo's gone, right?
Yep.
Napier loses the rest of the season. Napier's gone in Florida. Does
You
Florida
think
go
Jimbo
after Jimbo
comes to
Fisher
Florida?
to play for? To coach Florida. I
No.
don't think it's a bad
No.
option.
He
I don't
hates
think
Christmas.
it's a bad option.
Jimbo Fisher hates
want it.
Christmas.
I don't want it.
I don't think it's a bad option, man. I really don't.
I got one for you. Does Ohio State fire Day if you lose to Michigan without Harbaugh on the sidelines?
I don't think they fire him. I've never
Man, there's
liked
no
Day
way.
that much. I feel like they've took a big step back whenever Day became the head coach, opposed to, Urban Meyer. But obviously, a lot of coaches are going to be a step down when it comes to Urban Meyer. But I don't know. I don't think you fire him. I mean, he's made it to like every single year. I feel like, except for one, he's made it to a college football playoff. So I mean, he was basically a field goal away from making it to a national championship last year, and probably would have won that against TCU.
Now, I will say this: next year, when they move to 8 teams, if he starts losing those first round games there, then I think you're probably going to see him go.
That's going to be the interesting part. That's a good point you make. There's a lot of people now that may get fired because they can't make it past the first round of a college football playoff. So
yeah,
I don't even know how they're going to do that next year. Like I know now
I'm so excited.
Now they're using like the bowls.
Yeah.
The bowls are like the semifinals and also the championship. What are they doing for the first playoff games? Are there's also going to be bowls? Like, can
They
you be
have to? They have
Are
to
you
be
be like the champion of like the Cheez-It Bowl and then go to the Sugar Bowl? Like,
there's so much money inside of those bowl games that's exactly how it will play out. College teams make a shit ton of money if they're in those bowl games, dude. It will 100% play out that way. Every single playoff game will be listed as a bowl game.
So what do we got? We're gonna have the Rose Bowl, the
Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, probably
Chick-fil-A Bowl.
Chick-fil-A Bowl, yeah, that'll probably be one.
Orange Bowl.
Orange Bowl, that's what I was thinking
Orange
too.
Bowl.
That's gonna be exciting, dude. There's so many different bowl games that they're gonna have.
A lot of bowls.
But see, that's the thing, though, dude. You're gonna have to fire off a hell of a ton of bowl games, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But now, like, these bowl games are just going to be used, like, because now you can be like win multiple bowl games in a single season now. Like,
fact,
we
won 3 bowls in 1 year.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think. I mean, it's just like anything else, right? These teams that win 6 games, they get a bid to play in a bowl game. If you have a great record like that and you're making the playoffs, you should still have a chance to play in a bowl game. It may be a playoff game, but it should still be considered a bowl game, in my opinion. I mean, it's not really fair. Like, oh no, someone has 6 wins and they're getting a bowl game, but technically I make the playoffs and I'm not getting a bowl game. I just don't see how you can't, like, you can make it to where it's not a bowl game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does anybody know, is the committee staying at 8 after this year? Like, coming into next year, are we only staying at 8 playoff teams, or is it supposed to get pushed
I heard
to more?
they're trying to move it to more to 12
There's
teams.
no reason to at this point.
No, I think 8's good. You're hitting your Power 5 and then 3 others.
At this point, they should. I mean, they can't.
Well, not even Power 5 because
depends
Pac-12 won't be.
Yeah, it depends on conferences. But like, if you're going to add that extra week in there, they should just get rid of conference championship games. Like, I feel like. But I mean, how else you're gonna like I'm saying, you're prolonging the season an extra game. So I
They
just don't
want
know.
that.
I mean, it's more revenue. It just makes. I just don't know how they're gonna. Again, like I said, the scheduling for it
Dude,
makes no sense to me because you're adding us new games this season. You're
do
all
you
these
know the
conferences are
NCAA?
giants. Yeah,
NCAA, man, they're all
All
about
money.
this.
All
They
money,
don't care
bro.
about anything else. Why do you think it took them so long to let these people actually get money?
money.
I
Because it
mean,
all went
don't
to
get me.
their pocket, bro.
Yeah, it's coming out of their pocket.
So
Exactly.
I guess the next one I'll say is we'll talk about. I think this is the last college one we can talk about. It's going to be Washington, Oregon State. As of right now,
If you
Oregon.
want to talk about it right now, I have that on the Dubs and Chucks sheet.
Yeah,
But
I
we
mean,
can
we
talk
can
about
talk
it.
about without picking who we want to win. I feel like we can still talk about it, but I think that Oregon State right now is coming in as a 1 point favorite, which is
Because
yeah,
it's in the
in
dam.
Oregon, yeah,
It's in the dam.
language.
I think right here, this game, besides when Oregon plays Washington in the Pac-12 Conference Championship, this is Penix's chance to show why he should be
Heisman.
the
Yeah.
Heisman winner. I think he's going to have a good game. And Oregon State, have they lost? I don't think they've lost a game at home yet.
Yeah, they have 2 losses. I'm not sure they even lose to. They're still. I mean, whoever they lost to must be good because they're still 11th in the nation.
They lost to Oregon.
They lost to Arizona in Arizona,
and Arizona is ranked 24.
They're 17 now.
17. Okay.
And
yeah,
then
I mean,
who they lose to? Arizona,
Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
No, they haven't played Oregon yet.
Oh, they play Oregon next week.
Utah, maybe?
No, they beat Utah. Washington State. They lost to Washington State at Washington State.
Oh, I picked that game. I said Washington State would win that game. But yeah, I mean, playing in the dam, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a good game for sure. Man, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going to take any sides here, but I think this is the chance for Penix to really ball out and prove why he deserves to have that Heisman.
Oh wait, I forgot one last thing. Do we think JMU deserves to be able to have a bowl game? Because right now, they're not allowed.
Yeah, because they had
100%.
that stupid transfer rule that you had to wait 2 seasons after you transferred to which makes no sense.
It's not even that. It's the transfer rule is you have to take, you take a D1 schedule, right? So your first year you take D1 schedule, but you also take, what is it, CBF or whatever it is, that schedule. So they're taking D1, but it's not D1 like college football, NCAA. So they took it to where they took an entire D1 schedule this year, and they're balling out.
Undefeated. And so, they beat a Power 5 team.
Yes, they do deserve to have a chance, and it's not right that they're not giving them that chance. Now, you're supposed to wait 2 years. This is their first year in. I think next year they're going to have to let them in. They didn't even go into it where it's like an easy transfer over. They went straight in and took all D1 schools and took them on. It's just a shame for these seniors. It's a shame for
Madison seems like the place to be right now. I mean, you have their football team doing good, and you have your basketball team beating like the number 4th team in the nation. So, yeah. I mean, must be a fun place to be going to. You guys were upset that James Madison beat Virginia, but hey, who knew that they're going to be this good this year?
Don't remind me, bro. That's on Nick.
Come on now. That hurricane postponed that game.
Okay, I think I can bring us into some NFL games.
What we got?
Yeah, I mean,
there's a couple of good ones. We got a good Sunday night game, I believe, with
Bills versus Jets.
Yeah, and then we
Sunday night's Vikings Broncos.
Vikings versus
That'll be an interesting one. We got a good game on Monday night. Obviously, we touched a little bit with the Phillies or the Eagles.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Niners Bucks, that's going to be good. Jets Bills, that's going to be good. Seahawks Rams could be good too. Giants Commanders, good for the wrong reasons.
Steelers Browns,
good for the wrong
battle of the defense.
Yeah, and then even the Raiders Dolphins game could be an interesting game with how the Raiders have been playing the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I kind of like this new look Raiders team, man. They're playing with a little bit of swagger, a little bit of, I don't even know. They just seem to all be in a better headspace now, man. Now that freaking McDaniels is gone.
Davante Adams.
Yeah, well, Davante Adams is starting to get some targets now.
Feed him. Why wouldn't you? I mean, he's a top 5 wide receiver in the league. But I will say this, based on his performance so far, he's not putting the top 5 numbers up on the board. So
Right, because Josh McDaniels through freaking 8 weeks, who ended up game playing to him only get like 3 targets a game.
Hey, man, maybe I told him to do that. That's why I didn't have Devontae Adams on my list this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be an interesting game. I mean, the game I'm looking forward to obviously is gonna be that Monday night game. I mean, you have a rematch of the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah, but we'll be talking about that on Monday. We're not talking about
that's
that right
fair.
now.
I mean, if you want to talk
That
about money,
is
we
fair.
I mean, that's going to be a long discussion.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a lot to talk about on that game, both coming off of buys. Yeah, I mean, my game that I really like this week, I know it's not really crazy, but I like the Chargers-Packers game this week, man. Packers do actually have a chance in this. Chargers, they're hurt. They're hurt right now. They're relying heavily on Keenan Allen. I don't know if you watched
who's
that
also
game last
hurt.
week. I know. So it's there. I mean, thank goodness Herbert can do his thing, man. But it's gonna be a good game. I mean, in Green Bay, I think Love needs to get back on the right track, and this could be against the Chargers defense. It's not that great. This could be the game where he starts to get it back on track. Now, they don't have anything to really play for this year except for a draft pick, so maybe they try to just, lose out. But I don't know.
The Panthers don't even have their own draft pick, so I don't think it matters.
No, that's why I said, dude. I think you might not have been
Packers.
on that.
Packers.
I'm about to say, never mind then.
I think it's Panthers.
No, yeah, I know the Panthers screwed themselves over, man, and I think it goes to show. You look at Frank Reich; he was gone from the Colts last year. Look what the Colts are doing this year, and look what the Panthers are doing this year.
Some people are made to be OCs, so
I think he might be an issue there, dude. I don't think he's the right man for the job over there in Carolina.
I will.
But
say
I also think Bryce Young isn't a good quarterback from when he just looks so timid.
I feel like that's just so unfair to say that just yet. I don't know. Bryce Young has not looked great. Some of the throws, even when they're wide open, they haven't been there. But there's no time in that pocket. There is no true receiver there. No run game there. No defense. There's nothing there. You're on a team, dude, where it's nothing. There is literally nothing. Like, everybody knows you're the worst team in the league, and there's not even a question around it.
But they had Adam Thielen.
Oh, thanks. They have Adam Thielen.
Yeah, what's wrong with Thielen, dude?
Maybe they go get Robbie Chosen. The Dolphins just waived him.
Yeah, he just got cut.
All right, they might as well go after Gordon too.
Well, I mean, dude, Josh Gordon would be a stud.
Gordon was balling out in the XFL or USFL.
This is what I don't like about the NFL, dude. Now you can smoke weed. That poor guy,
dude, his whole career wrecked.
And then now you can smoke, and the poor guy literally got suspended so many times because he smoked. And they were saying constantly, I mean, he didn't get caught at all. Well, he got caught, but he was stoned playing those games. I mean, and he was balling out.
What I feel like what also kind of sucks for him too, bro, is the NFL made it seem like the guy was on hard drugs, bro. They were like, "Yeah, we're sending you off to rehab. You got to go back to rehab this week." And then you come back, fails another weed test. We got to send you back to rehab, buddy. You got to head on back. Poor guy
to the XFL.
Yeah. But hey, we might as well get into the Christian not so much payday parlay.
Yeah, guys, I have a nasty, filthy, I mean, absolutely just massively filthy 18-leg basketball parlay that I just built today.
How do you build
18? Yeah, good job.
Basketball parlay. There's only 30 teams in the thing.
Yeah, dude. Well, if my screen would actually load, I could tell you guys what the fuck I picked. But
yeah,
I can tell you guys what the freak I picked.
I love how he's just saying that he just picked it all. I mean, I love it. But yeah, go for it.
I mean, Nick, on this basketball parlay, I tried to get your feedback, and you were, dude, I'm busy with work, bro. I can't.
Yeah, I had to message my boss, let her know my internet's still out. But I do I did like all the picks that you were bringing across, and I guess you'll tell me in a second if you went with it.
All right. So we're just gonna spin them off here. Try to save as much time as we can. Milwaukee Bucks playing at the Hornets tonight. We took the Bucks -7.5 and Giannis to score 25 or more. The Knicks are playing at the Wizards. I took the Knicks on the money line. Jalen Brunson to score 20 or more. Kings are playing at the Spurs. Took the Kings on the money line. De'Aaron Fox in his first game back of 5 games, 25 or more. Give me it. Boston Celtics at the Raptors. I'm taking the Celtics on the money line. Jaylen Brown, 20-plus points. Sixers at the Hawks. Give me the Sixers on the line. Embiid to score 30 or more. Nuggets at the Pelicans. I'm taking the Nuggets -5.5. Michael Porter Jr., 15 or more. Taking the Suns over the Jazz at the Jazz and KD to score 25 or more. Clippers to finally get the freaking win after 6 straight losses against Houston at home. Paul George to also score 20 or more. Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this is a real risky one because Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are game time decisions, but I'm taking the Cavs -9, baby. Give me the Chicago Bulls on the money line over the Magic, and then the Lakers on the money line over the Blazers, boys. And if you have $2 to spare, that's $2 into $2,311.
Yeah, shout out to filing taxes on betting. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, literally. Shout out to us for not being smart enough to think about that beforehand.
Well, you have to win over $2,000.
Oh, we just won over. Fuck.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
know,
nah,
David.
dude.
I
Nah,
know.
I think we're just under $2,000 right now.
Yeah.
No.
Whatever.
Listen, you can never lose over 100% of your money, but you can always gain 200%.
He's got a point.
If you have a gambling problem,
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
here.
We'll plug the hotline.
I plugged it on an earlier episode too.
All right, so I guess we'll finish it off here, guys. We'll do our dubs and chugs. I'll fire them off. Just let me know when you're ready.
All right, I'm ready.
First game: Utah versus Arizona.
I'll take Arizona.
Arizona's looked so good, but I think Utah bounces back. They played a really good game against Washington last week, so I think they're going to bounce back and win this one.
Yeah, I mean Utah's losses are obviously Oregon, Washington. I mean that's tough. But I think they're going to get it done there in Arizona. Next game, we got UNC versus Clemson.
Give me Clemson.
I agree. I'm going to take Clemson. Clemson's looked pretty good in the past several weeks of the season. Even the loss to even the loss to Florida State. I mean, they should have won that game, and I think they're a good team. So I think they're going to beat UNC.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's at home. I think Clemson gets it done. Main reason, I liked UNC this year, but the way they looked last week, not a fan of how they looked.
Usually should have lost, but
they should have. So I'm going to take Clemson in this one. Next one, we got Battle of Kansas. We got K-State versus Kansas.
ooh,
That's tough. Give me K-State though, dude. I really like K-State there. Give me K-State.
that's a tough one because I do like Kansas State too. But to be contrarian, I'll just pick Kansas State. Sorry, I'll pick Kansas just to go against what Christian said.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, man, it's tough. Kansas looks really good. They surprised a lot of teams this year, man. I mean, it's tough. K-State's just got a good defense. I think Kansas State wins this game. Next game, dude. I think this is a highlight game of the week. We got Georgia versus Tennessee.
Yeah, Georgia.
I think it's unquestionably Georgia. I mean, you look how Tennessee, you look how Tennessee played, last week. You look how Georgia played last week. I think it's without a question of doubt. I would not be surprised if they win by 20 plus.
Nick goes, this is a game of the week. Me and David, Georgia. Not even a question.
I mean, I agree. I mean, Georgia's is obviously the number one team right now, right? I mean, defense, offense is little different, but I mean, I think Georgia's going to get this one against Tennessee. We got Washington versus Oregon State.
Oh man,
Undefeated Oregon State at the Dam.
if you guys didn't hear what he said Washington. But man, I don't know, dude. Oregon State's look good. They've lost bad games, however. Give me Oregon State. Give me the Beavers. You never bet against a good Beaver, so I'm going to pick Oregon State.
That is true. You can't. I mean, they're undefeated at home. But man, I'm telling you, like I said, Penix Jr., this is his time to shine. This is his way of showing why he should be the Heisman winner. So I'm going to take Washington to win this game. So we're going to move on to the NFL, starting with the first game, Steelers versus Browns.
I like the Browns, baby. I like the Browns.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh. And yes, the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers' offense looks terrible. The defense for the Browns is amazing. I just don't trust the rookie quarterback there. I think that the offense needs to do something too. I mean, the defense cannot let up a lot of points, but the offense needs to be able to score for the Browns too. And I just don't think they do that against a good Steelers defense. So I think the Steelers will win this one.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember, but didn't the rookie, get his start against the Steelers the last time?
I think you might be right.
I think he did, and I think the Steelers won that game.
They did, but I bet you that the rookie already came out and said he's not. It's night and day difference.
But I will say this right now: Browns have a good defense. They are going to shit on Kenny Pickett. So I'm going to take the Browns in this game. Sorry, David. Next game, we got the Chargers versus the Packers.
They're playing at the Packers.
Yeah, they're playing
Green Bay.
I'll take the Chargers. I feel the Chargers are still, I know we said a little bit earlier they might not really be playing for a whole lot, but that AFC, man, it's now, especially with Cincinnati taking that fall, it's a tight race for the last wild card spot. So I think they stay alive. I'll take the Chargers.
Isn't it insane that we're saying that a defense that includes J.C. Jackson and Derwin James Jr. and Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack is that not a good defense this year? It's absolutely insane, but it's true. They haven't been playing well. I just think
Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah, I just think that Love in that Packers offense is not good. I really don't trust them at all, and I just think that for that reason, I mean, you can only do so much on the defense side of the ball if your offense isn't scoring. So I think the Chargers will win this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it seems like Chargers are playing like bend don't break defense lately, but they are breaking. But at the same time, it's going to come down to which defense is on the field longer, and I think that is going to be the Packers defense. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Chargers are going to win this one in Green Bay also. Next game, we got Seattle versus LA Rams.
Is that in LA?
LA.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I think I'll take LA on that one, man. After what I just saw from Seattle in Seattle against Washington and how close that was, I think I'll take LA.
Seahawks have looked rough the whole season, really. Even though they're like the third or fourth team right now in the NFC, or I think they're fifth now because they don't have the spot. But they've looked rough this year. Geno Smith has taken a huge step back. And has really kind of weighed down the offense with three good receivers. So it's kind of wild why they're playing so bad. Matt Stafford's come off an injury. Is he fully healthy? Who knows? Maybe they have a better job with Carson Wentz on there. I'll take the Seahawks. I'll say Seahawks will win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a divisional game. It's going to be a close game, but Stafford's back, and Stafford doesn't have to do a whole lot except throw to Kupp. And Kupp will get the job done. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm going to take the Rams in this game. Going into the next game, you got the Jets versus the Bills.
Oh, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it, man. Give me the Jets, bro. For some reason, they're the Bills' kryptonite, man. They can't ever figure out a way to get past the stinking Jets. So I'm going to take the Jets.
Yeah, no, I still think you don't start Josh Allen in this game if you have him on fantasy because how good that defense is. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game nonetheless. But I'm going to say the Bills bounce back. They need the win. They have to win, and I think the Bills will take this game.
Yeah, David, I'm with you on that, man. I mean, they have to win this game. I know you don't want to start Josh Allen, but, I mean, a part of me thinks at home they're not going to lose like they did last week. I think the Bills are going to come out firing on all cylinders. And I don't think this is going to be a close game, what everyone thinks. So I'm going to take the Bills at home to bounce back. So tiebreaker game, we got the Vikings versus the Broncos, Sunday Night Football.
I'll take the.
They're not playing.
Yeah, I'll take the. Fuck, man, both teams are hot right now, dude. Yeah,
So
I can't let go of the Pasternak. I'm gonna take the Vikings. I'll take the Vikings 28-24. Nick, I fucking remembered this time.
Do we know when JJ's coming back yet? I thought
he said he's not ready. I don't think he's coming back this week. He hasn't practiced fully. I'm not sure he's coming back for this game. From what I can see, they said that he's like still probably about a week away from being fully healthy. So he's still a toss-up, though.
What I'll say is that this Broncos team has played 3 straight good weeks. Their defense is looking really good right now. I think Josh Dobbs is doing really well. I think he's hot right now. I don't think a lot of people are giving him the credit he deserves. So I think I'm gonna take the Vikings here. I'm gonna take him winning 2017.
20-17.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, David. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But man, like you said, Broncos have been playing good. You got to remember, Dobbs has to get used to that altitude level, so it might be a little different. I think the Broncos are on the right track here. Nonetheless, they don't have a lot of game film on Dobbs, so that's probably good for the Vikings. But I'm going to take the Broncos to win 20-13. I think Broncos win 20-13. I don't think that offense is going to do a whole lot.
You think Josh Dobbs is only going to put up 13 points after what he's been doing? He was averaging more points per game than that with Arizona, dude.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. I was going to go 2017, but I couldn't. He just went 2017. What am I going to flip-flop on it? You took Broncos to win. So if you take Broncos 2017, that means your score is different than David's score. Yeah, it's true. It's just the same score, same amount of points. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think both these teams need to win. So it's a good Sunday night football game for teams that are
I feel like playoff contentions are really starting to get on the line here now too, especially with games like this. Vikings, they're the hottest team in the NFL right now on I think a 5-game win streak. But I feel like it's the game. Same with the Broncos. You lose this game and your playoff hopes go spiraling.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great weekend. A lot of good games this weekend. I'll be at the Jags game this weekend, so that's gonna be fun. I don't know how it worked out that I go to 2 Jags games and the Eagles are playing Monday Night Football. So it kind of worked out for me. So that's good. It's going to be a good game over there. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have
just so we're right. So, Nick, you're a Maryland fan, a Gators fan, a Jags fan, a Eagles fan, a Devils fan, a Sixers fan, a Phillies fan. Am I missing any more? I mean, you have a lot of teams here, buddy.
Okay, so you do realize when you live in Jacksonville, you can still go to a football game and not care who wins.
Okay, but if you go to college at a school, but you root for another college that you grew up liking, that's not cool.
I have to root for Florida. Now, if Florida plays Maryland, I'm a Maryland fan. I'm going to root for Maryland. But Ty is an alumni from Florida, so I have to root for Florida. I don't think you understand that. Get a girlfriend that actually graduated college, and then you'll understand.
Ooh, shots fired. David, let me ask you though, who would you be rooting for in an FSU Ohio State championship game?
Ohio State. I've said it before. I would root for Ohio State. That's the team I grew up liking. I just follow and like FSU just because I paid the money.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. See, he's still going with the team that he likes, man. I mean, we'll see.
One team you missed in there, Nick is also a DC Defenders fan.
DC Defenders fan, yes.
I am.
Yeah, that's your XFL team, the DC Defenders.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he's not a DC Defender fan, bro.
Oh wait, we're the Battlehawks. We chose Battlehawks together.
Yeah, screw the Battlehawks. I'm a rough neck fan, baby.
Yeah, because you like giving that rough neck.
Yeah, he does. He's all about that work in that corner. You want to see a real rough neck? I'll show you. That's what he's saying over there.
Okay.
I'm glad. Nickel for
where you going with this?
Nickel for Schnitzel working that corner. Yeah, but guys, enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a fun one. Have a couple drinks. Enjoy it. But we'll see you next week.
Play some parlay. Bet your life savings. Do it.
Embiid gets 50 plus tonight.
Yo, I just said that the other night.
I wish you would have said that earlier.
All right, boys. Bye.
Wait, you're the.
Oh, I get to end this.
Yeah, you have to end it.
Wait, it says leave though. I'm so confused.
Number one, highlight taking pockets. We taking over the scene. We drop dubs and
Chugs, Levin, the sports dream. From hot takes to deep dive, it's a winning regime. Come join the hype, we're not just blowing steam.